Tell us your thoughts on obviously making the move and bringing Ohtani. And did you think that landing Ohtani was going to kind of like draw a guy like Yamamoto to come and sign with your team?
I think he wanted to. I mean, I'm speaking from speculation. I didn't talk to any of these guys, so I'm not trying to get in trouble here. But I think anytime you bring in a guy like Ohtani, that's going to attract other people because obviously everybody wants to win. But especially with Yamamoto being in Japan, I had heard that he had wanted to, to team up with some other Japanese players. So I don't know. I mean, I think the Dodgers brand is big in Japan and it's going to be bigger, obviously. But I think, Ohtani obviously helped us kind of put our chips all in and get more players.
So talk about the process of deferring the money, because obviously we've seen teams do it when the contract does get bad with players, like we've seen the Orioles do it with Chris Davis, obviously the famous one with the Mets and Bobby Bonilla, but now they're doing it kind of in advance. And are you surprised like a lot of other teams haven't been able to take that on? And talk about the process of the Dodgers doing it.
It was a shock for me as well when I saw it. I mean, it's not like I'm in the contract negotiations, and obviously with Ohtani, it was very behind the closed doors type of thing. He didn't want anybody knowing what was going on. And I had heard that it was actually his idea to do it. There's probably tax implications that go in with it as far as, when he collects the money. I think if he's living somewhere other than California, it's probably going to be a little bit less of a tax hit for him. It's definitely interesting. I mean, if another team had done it, I don't think it would have gotten as much press because, I think we've done it with the 3 guys that we signed this year. But, I think it's creative. I don't know how long it'll be allowed to continue, but we got in there, I guess.
You get Tyler Glasnow. Before you landed Ohtani, before you landed Yamamoto, you add a great pitcher in Tyler Glasnow, a guy that's been injury prone over there with Tampa. If you don't remember, I know you remember, but if any fan doesn't remember, he was traded a couple of years ago to Tampa from Pittsburgh and really transitioned and turned into the pitcher that maybe Pittsburgh couldn't develop or didn't develop in as fast as Tampa. And they've been known to be an organization to really develop pitchers. What were your thoughts of making the trade and prospects traded from the Los Angeles Dodgers? And I'm sure some of them, who were the players that were traded for Tyler Glasnow?
Pepio and DeLuca were both guys that got a little bit of time with the big league team last year. Solid prospects that, I think DeLuca kind of surprised everybody last year with kind of how he came on the scene and did so well. I guess he had just kind of figured it out the year before and, kind of forced his way into the conversation. Pepio was just kind of, with the names that we have in our rotation and on our pitching staff, it's kind of tough for young guys to kind of break in. And I think with DeLuca being a righty, we had plenty of guys that were, I guess had a little bit more experience. So I think both of the guys that sent are probably going to start with the team, but it's a huge opportunity for them because obviously it's hard to get in every day as a Dodger. I mean, we haven't really done that successfully until I guess Outman.
They gave Tyler Glasnow, they extended him 4 years, $110 million, which is a great contract for one of the, I believe when healthy, one of the top 10 pitchers in baseball. To give him a 4-year, $110 million contract, it's a steal. After paying Yamamoto $325 million and Ohtani $700 million, you had to get a deal, and you get one with Tyler Glasnow. What are your thoughts with the deal that he got?
I think it's awesome. I mean, it's a big market team, so you kind of got to pay a premium, especially coming into the Dodgers. Everyone knows that, we've got a little bit of money, I guess. Similar with the Mets, similar with New York. It's like you go to a big market and you kind of have to pay a little bit more because you're the big market. But, I scouted Tyler Glasnow in the 2020 World Series, and he's not an easy at bat. And as you saw, we kind of didn't do anything until he left the game. So, it's good to have him in the fold. The 4-year contract, that's awesome because it's really kind of signifying we're going all in. We were quiet last year, and I think we surprised a lot of people with our, the success that we had last year. And it made everyone have expectations that we were like I'm not going to say we weren't a contender because we won 100 games, but going into last year, I didn't think that we would win 100 games. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah, all the hype was on the Padres. Yeah,
100%. Yeah, the Padres, the Braves, obviously. So I think last year for us to, be relatively quiet in the offseason and still do what we did, it just kind of shows the potential we have this year when we bring in those guys that are obviously going to give us a boost.